that was so bad it kind of frustrated me. I didn't even want to feel like taping today, to be completely honest. It was really frustrating me. Welcome back to another episode of Broke Premiere, guys. If you are new to the channel, I had been previously working on a 2008 Mazda 3. Then the last episode I actually finished up and I listed it for sale. And as I was editing that episode, guys, I actually sold the Mazda. So I'm gonna get into that a little bit later on. Since then, I've been looking for a new flip. I've checked out a couple. I just went to one that was so bad, it kind of frustrated me. I didn't even want to feel like taping today, to be completely honest. It was really frustrating me. The guy posted these photos. I'm gonna show them to you right now. And as you can see, this car looked gorgeous. The only problem with it was that it needed a transmission, which I thought, okay, beautiful car, needs a transmission. 2010, marked as a 2011 is what he tried to sell it as, but it needed a transmission, so that's okay. I'll get there, I'll buy the transmission, put it in, and I'll make a couple of grand. Not a bad idea. When I showed up, guys, that was not the car I saw. The car I saw had clear coat chipping off the hood. The headlights were as yellow as the Mazda. The side of the car had deep scratches on it on the side skirt area. The back taillight was broken. The interior had not been cleaned since those photos, I guarantee it. So anyway, I was very frustrated, very irritable. I really didn't want to do anything today, but I needed to get something done, so I figured I would start working on the Audi again. So for right now, what I would actually like to do is to remove the front bumper of the Audi. I want to take this thing off, and then I want to see if I am able to fix it just with plastic welding. From the looks of it on this side, I still have the holder that should go in there. The other side does look like it's missing, so I might have to finagle and kind of jerry rig something up to make it work. I don't know, we will see how that ends up working out. But for right now, my first goal is just to get this thing off so I can kind of see where it's at. I also might be going to look at another flip tonight, so if I do, then you probably see the distorted image in the photo. If not, sorry. But I am gonna go look at like 9 o'clock tonight. It's when she gets out of work. She'll be back home. We'll see. It's a little higher mileage than I like. The year is good. It's a 2007, so we'll see. But anyway, that's the goal for now. Let's get at it. All right, it's better and worse than I thought at the same time. Check it out. One of the good things is that this piece, the other blinker, is actually right there. So that's cool. I have the other blinker. I do think I'll be able to reattach it just because I think they're kind of like a glue, or I guess they're kind of more like a melt tier into the actual other plastic. Luckily, that whole other piece ripped off as a whole, so I think it'll be fairly easy to get it melted back on there. These pieces are kind of shredded. I do think I can save them somewhat, which I'm glad. It's a lot better. I thought there was nothing left here, so I'm glad at least these pieces exist. This piece is still attached behind the lens. I'll show you that in a second. The other thing, to stiffen this whole side, you need a piece like this. And basically this whole plastic ridge holds onto this rubber, and then this rubber holds onto the top of the wheel well. But this is kind of shredded on the driver's side, and this is the part that's supposed to keep it strong. That is kind of the worst side, and then if you look, here is the other piece of the plastic that I have to reattach back to the bumper. So I did some of this kind of on the black Audi. This is definitely worse. But overall, I don't think it's going to be too bad. So what I think I'm going to do first is remove this piece, get it out of the way, and then I think I will start working on all of these little pieces to plastic weld them back on. I'll probably build a little metal piece to melt inside of this just to strengthen it up. Probably try to reattach this piece next. Then I'll work on this piece. Once that side is done, then I'll come over, try to work on this piece. Oh, and then this whole side is missing the majority. I might have to finagle and create something here out of the actual paper clips. We'll see what I can do with that. But I think, oh wait, it is there. Okay, cool. So I should be able to reattach this whole side and get it back on there. Fingers crossed. Anyway, guys, that is the goal. Let's get at it. All right, guys, it is the next morning. Sorry I cut the plastic welding short. I did want to finish the bumper, but I got kind of lucky. I just kind of randomly searched my phone last night and saw a car that popped up like 11 minutes after posting. So I immediately contacted the guy. He said he might have someone coming within the next 30 minutes to an hour, which just kind of shows you guys are always asking how I do this. Like 11 minutes after posting, he already had a guy coming within the next 30 minutes to an hour. So I told him I'd come right now with cash to get the car. Kind of took a little bit more back and forth, but he said finally okay. So I headed down there. I was there within 10 minutes and I bought this. This is a 2009 Volkswagen Routan or Routan. I don't know, it's R-O-U-T-A-N. Before you guys start yelling at me, hear me out. I know I said 2010 or newer when it comes to VW or Audis, but technically, this is a Dodge. Again, hear me out. The way I figured it out was by this key. All of you that have been watching know that the missus has a Dodge Challenger, and she has the exact same key as this. So immediately my thought was, is this a Dodge? So I ended up going online, searching Volkswagen, Routan, Dodge, question mark. Turns out it is. So basically in about 2008, 2009, whenever these came out, Volkswagen outsourced to Dodge to make this van. And basically what this is a Dodge Caravan wrapped in VW stuff. So what's nice is it should be pretty easy to find a lot of the parts under the Dodge name, which will be far cheaper than buying them under the VW name. Already a win. The other thing is that almost everything should line up and match up, except for things like the grille, the front bumper, and probably the rear bumper and the emblem, whatever holds the emblem back here. So yeah, probably this piece right here, which I'm imagining is probably a plastic piece in the center, or maybe just a full metal door they just put on a different door, but everything else should be able to be replaced. Now, to get into a little bit more of the details, the guy was asking $1,400, and when I showed up, I tried to beat him down to $1,000, but honestly, I kept hearing the OfferUp app go off, the cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching sound in the back while he was talking to me. It was kind of driving me nuts, but he ended up settling at $1,300. Not a major win, but still $1,300 for this van. One of the nice parts about being in San Diego, guys, is vans always sell. Either families need them or people need them to work and use them like a work truck. So for those of you that have been fans of the channel for a long time and go all the way back to my first Dodge Grand Caravan I flipped, that was kind of the van that broke me into doing this full time. I bought that van for $600. I sold it for $3,500. All said and done, I think I made about $2,500 on that van. And that's when I realized, okay, I think I can do this full time. I can pay my bills, buy another car, and keep the progress moving. So Dodge Grand Caravans, almost any van in San Diego, is a good bargain. The fact I got it for $1,300, I know right now if I clean this thing up, that was part of how I got a deal, is it was just filthy. I couldn't see everything, so he knocked off the $100. But I know right now if I was to fix that front bumper, vacuum this thing out, gave it a quick wash, I could get $2,500, not even trying for this thing. So I know I've already got a good deal before I even left it. And that kind of goes back to where you guys are asking how I do so well. There's a common phrase in sales. The phrase goes, the sale is made in the purchase. Meaning if you buy it cheap enough, no matter what, you can sell it for higher. That's kind of how I always work. I get them so cheap that even if I walked away and I spit shined them, I brought them to a detail shop, paid $25 for them to drive it through a car wash and vacuum it out, I can make money. That's how I buy my cars. And this is a pure example of that. But now I'd kind of like to show you a little bit more about the car and just how bad it actually is. So the exterior, really the damage is up front. Some of the rims are scratched, they're gonna need some love. But the body panels are pretty clean. There's a little nick down here, not too bad. The side is good. The back's pretty clean. There's a little scratch on the bumper down there, but as you've been seeing, this side is pretty dang clean. The overall exterior is pretty nice. There's a little scuff down here. I'll be able to sand out most of this. There will be a slight little dent. I might try to take it out, but it might cause more damage than good. So we'll see what happens there. Now for the interior and why I got this thing so cheap. And before I do that, just in case any of you guys thought I was BSing about the Dodge, that's an M for Mopar. So definitely Dodge Grand Caravan wrapped in VW stuff. But anyway, the one cool thing is These automatic doors still work, which is awesome. And before I even go in here, I'm actually going to take you around, open up the other one as well. This one also works, which is pretty cool. And I'm not sure if the back hatch does it by itself. Let's see. No? Okay. Nope. But this is why I got the car so cheap. It was a work van. So, luckily, I think most of this stuff is superficial. All this white, I believe to be sheetrock dust. If you see, kind of rubs out. In fact, there's a little spit. Gone. So I think most of the white will all come out. As bad as it looks, as horrible as it looks, I think it'll come out. I'm sure some parts are paint, some will like it up there, but most of it should come out. The black parts, I think I can get off, that's grime. And then there is some actual scarring here and there, but I'm just gonna take a torch to that stuff that's really bad, just to kind of make it blend in and look a little nicer. The only problem I'm having is I did search all the junkyards for Volkswagen Routan or Routan or however you pronounce it. I'm not seeing one. I did see like 3 Dodge Grand Caravans, and I'm hoping one of them has a gray interior that I can take the seats, this floorboard, hopefully the front seats as well, because those are kind of beat up as well, and just replace all of them. It'd be about $200, $300 in seats in the floor, but it'd totally transform the interior when I do that. Now, if you look up, the headrest is in pretty good condition. There is little scratches all over all these little things, which I think are little pop-down TVs I want to check out. But the actual headliner's not bad. Like, it's far better than the first Dodge Grand Caravan I had. If you guys saw me replace that. There is some splash marks from something, looks like coffee or something spilled and shot up. But as you can see, it needs a lot of cleaning, a lot of detailing, which I think will be the majority of this sale. It does need another windshield. Unfortunately, that was part of the deal as well. And when I got there, the guy told me that there's something going on with the electronics. Basically, when you start up the car, every now and then when it gets warm, it just shuts off. I did run the code scanner, and if you guys see, I have a couple of codes, which is weird because when the car started, there's no check engine light, but this is on for some reason. But we see coolant fan circuit, electrical malfunction. Then we have lost fuel level message, implausible fuel level signal, lost ambient temperature message. So something electrical is happening. Now, whenever I have something electrical happening, I always try to figure out what did they do, if anything, electrical on this car that could start causing problems. And we come to this, another little air horn thing. If we look under the hood, first, there is front damage here. So the radiator code might be related to this damage. So there might be a snipped wire that's not reading to the fan anymore. Something along that lines. But if we look in here, we can see the air horn. This giant thing is coming out. I might save it for myself for some fun, we'll see. But I'm betting this installation caused some type of shorting somewhere, and just this hacky wiring is probably the reason why a lot of those problems started. So that is the first thing we're gonna remove. This issue, see where it goes from there. Then what I'll probably do is check down below here, see about the fan. I didn't notice the fan ever come on. Car did get hot, it didn't overheat, but it did get hot, and I never noticed the fan kick on. So I'm gonna check the wiring, check the fan, make sure that works. I'll probably honestly just jump it off the battery to make sure it does work. If it does, then I'll work my way backwards. But as you can see, this is the 4.0 liter V6 from Dodge. It's a good engine, it's a solid engine. There's usually not too many problems with sludge or anything like that with this engine. This one, they kind of fixed the PCV problem or PVC problem that the missus had. So I'm happy about the engine, it's strong. There is a weird grinding or howling noise or something coming when I first take off. So it could be a wheel bearing. I'm still not quite convinced it's that. If I turn right or left, it doesn't really change all that much. It's really just when starting, which makes me think it's a transmission or a torque converter issue. So probably before I do any of that, I will most likely try to change the transmission fluid on this thing. But we'll see going down the line if that's actually the issue. But first things first, I want to remove the air horn. See if that alleviates any of the issues, if it starts clearing up some of the codes, at least try that. So that's the first goal. Let's get at it. All right, the foghorn thing is out, as you can see right here. The next thing I want to tackle is trying to figure out the fan code that we got. I've already checked the fuse. It is J19. It's a 60 amp that belongs right here. And as you can see, it is solid. So the fuse is good. I'm guessing the front end damage here is what caused it. I just did a bit of research and I found out that the Chrysler Town and Countries hide the fan relay, and it looks down in on the bumper somewhere, like probably in here somewhere. So before I even go that far, I first want to disconnect the power to the fan. I'm gonna jump it from the battery and see if it turns on at all. If it does turn on, then I'm going to search out that relay and test the relay. So that's the goal. Let's get at it. All right, so I tested the fan, I tested the relay. I think you guys saw that I was able to jump the fan. It spins fine, there's no problems. I tested the relay to make sure there's clicking. The relay was supposed to be here, at least that's where they put them on the Dodge, but apparently they have updated the relay since, where they've moved it over here. I tested the relay, it definitely clicks fine, there's no problems with it. So I'm gonna guess it might be an intermittent issue, maybe due to the ignition where it just turns off by itself. That's what I'm guessing, that's what I'm assuming. There still does seem to be a resistor down here, some sort, which I can't even show you. I might have to do this all over again. And I don't know how to test that. I'm gonna do a little more research before I get too crazy with it. But I did do a little research while I was taking this all apart. Turns out there is a recall on these ignitions, and apparently they turn off by themselves. So I might be able to go get this ignition replaced for free, hopefully. I don't know, and if any of you guys do know down below about recalls, I think they stay with the car, not necessarily if a new owner and then it resets or anything like that. So I believe up until a certain year point they stay with the car, and then after 12, 15 years, something like that, then they die off, and it is what it is, I believe. So if you guys know, please comment down below. I could really use any type of information. I know recall work usually takes forever just because guys really don't make that much money on it. The companies know it's a simple enough fix, so they only pay them at a certain rate. I do know it'll take me longer. I don't want this car to commission too long, so I might do it myself. I don't know, we'll see what happens. But while I took this thing off for no reason, apparently, I think I'm going to actually try to repair the front bumper, put the grille back together, probably do some plastic welding to hold it in place. And I was trying to show you guys before that they've put some type of epoxy on here before. So they've tried to fix it, but you can see like just this chunk of crud that falls off. So they tried their best, but it didn't work at all. So what I'm going to do for right now is try to put the grille and the bumper back together, this grille and the bumper back together all the way. And then I'm probably gonna do some plastic welding. Probably just take some of the paper clips and kind of melt them in, twist them to kind of lock it so it can't come back out. I will do that. I do want to get, there's a plastic shroud that goes on the whole bottom of this that attaches to the bottom of the support beam down there. So I'm gonna take that off, connect it to here, try to get that on here stable again. Oh, and then I wanted to show you guys because I thought it was pretty cool, and another show that this is a Mopar. Here is the Chrysler symbol and the Chrysler LLC. So definitely a Town and Country, Dodge Grand Caravan, whatever. Also what I thought was cool was that VW put the little symbol in the center of their headlight there. That was pretty neat. So anyway guys, my goal right now is to fix that bumper, put it back on. Let's get at it. All right, so I started going a little deeper into the hole. I tried to put the bumper back on. Then I realized that the light wasn't fitting right. Saw that the light was broken. Started fixing the light, went to put that back in, and then I realized that part of the structure holding it is also broken. So if you look, this whole section is free. So I started taking off this bolt, and if you look down below, you can see that it's been busted out as well. Then you come down here, this whole section has been busted along with in there. So where I'm at right now, I basically have to take off this plastic piece that connects from there, goes down underneath the radiator, back up over to this side and mounts here in these two spots, along with 2 bolts back here, 2 bolts on the fender, and then I'm sure there's a couple down here as well that bolt in somewhere. But basically I have to take that off, fix that structure so that that structure can be fixed. So then I can put the light back in, that'll hold in place correctly. Then I can put the bumper back in and that'll hold in place correctly. This all started, and I think you guys probably saw, but I was trying to fight the corner in down here along with keep it hidden underneath the headlight. Once I saw it wasn't fitting right, I noticed the headlight was sticking out over here. So I pulled the headlight, saw it was broken in on here. So it's just like a chain reaction. This is kind of where we've gotten to. So I think that's going to be the ending point for this episode. I will reattack this starting next episode. But I did forget to tell you, one, how much mileage this has. This has 163 or 161,000 miles. A little outside my range, a little higher than I'd like, but it's a van. It runs good, it runs strong. I don't know if there's a transmission issue or sound. There's a weird whining, so I'm still kind of concerned about that. But it does have power, it's strong, shifts fine. But the main thing I forgot to tell you guys about is the Mazda. I sold the Mazda 6 hours after I listed it for 4,500 bucks. I had it up for $5,000. Person said $4,500. I said, depends, how soon can you be here? They showed up 30 minutes later with $4,500 cash. It was so simple, it was weird. I asked if they wanted to go on a test drive, nothing. They literally like looked under the hood, closed the hood, handed me cash, and took the car. It was like the sale lasted not even 2 minutes. It was the weirdest thing I've ever done, also the happiest I've ever been. It was very easy. So anyway, with $4,500, I think I calculated I made about $2,950 in profit. So I had about $1,550 into the car. $1,200 for the car, $200 for the windshield, and then about $150 in miscellaneous oil, the TCM, which was like 50 something bucks. So altogether I had about $1,550 into the car. And I honestly did about one week solid, maybe a week and 2 days worth of work for almost $3,000 profit. So that was a really good flip. All those videos I had to spread out over the vacation, but it really did take me about one solid 7-day week getting all that work done. And then like 2 extra days when I came back doing the final touch-ups. So anyway, very happy about that flip. I can't believe how well it did. I'm really hoping to have similar, I'm actually expecting better numbers out of this van. It'll definitely take some more work. So with that said, I think that's gonna wrap up this episode of Broke Premier, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll catch you again on Sunday. Later, guys.